Dire Chiefs and Cyclones fan, and this former Iowa State guard defined loyalty. My name's TJ Cole. Welcome back to Cyclone Kingdom, another legacy conversation as we reflect on the career of Tamin Lipsey. He's one of the best point guards of all time in Iowa State history. And in an era of NIL where there is so much to be said about guys that leave. I mean, we've seen it with so many countless former Cyclones. Tamin Lipsey came back, stayed loyal to Ames, Iowa, been a Cyclone fan his whole life, and played like a Cyclone. He played to the caliber of what TJ Otzelberger has wanted, but he also played to the caliber of what Cyclone fans expect from Cyclone basketball. He keep in mind, his freshman year, could not shoot a three-pointer. Was incapable. Literally was like taken away from the offense because he couldn't shoot a three. And by his senior year, was a bona fide scorer. In addition to his lockdown defense, one of the best defenders in college basketball, one of the best steal artists, top 5, top 10 all time in Big 12 history in steals. Tamin Lipsey was a dog. He was a dog on the court, and he was beloved by Cyclone fans. Still is beloved by Cyclone fans. I hope he gets a chance in the NBA. It sounds like with all the workouts and stuff that he has, he's had a chance to be drafted in the late second round. I really hope that's the case. So what does he mean to Iowa State? Well, what does he mean in the history books of Cyclone basketball and maybe Cyclone athletes? Because I can make the argument, and I will in just a second, that his legacy among Iowa State athletes is even greater than his legacy of Iowa State basketball. But what Tamin Lipsey was a part of with TJ Otzelberger, I'm rocking the Wizard of Oz shirt, Field of 68 shout out. What Tamin Lipsey did for Cyclone basketball was remind the world why Iowa State is a basketball powerhouse in the college ranks. They're a perennial top 25 team, period. They bring the noise at Hilton Coliseum, and they bring the boom every time they play against you. The Fred Hoiberg teams, they never really brought that defensive intensity. The Steve Probe teams sure didn't either. And when TJ Otzelberger arrived and took Iowa State to that Sweet 16 in year one, it was well known that Iowa State was going to be here to stay. And very different from the Fred Hoiberg era, they would be here to stay consistently, offensively, defensively, and nationally. You know who the first recruit of that TJ Otzelberger era was? Tamin Lipsey. The Ames High Little Cyclone himself. Guys, when we say Tamin Lipsey grew up as an Iowa State fan, he lived in Ames, Iowa. He would go to Iowa State games. There are pictures of him as a young kid with Monte Morris. This guy was born to be a Cyclone. So why would we expect that he would go anywhere else instead of staying all 4 years at the school that he's wanted to play at for decades? That's why he means so much to Iowa State. Because loyalty is seldom seen in college sports now. Just ask Rocco Becht. Ask Audie Crooks. Ask Matt Campbell. Loyalty is very seldom seen. Now the landscape has shifted. College sports are now about getting paid, and athletes are deservingly getting paid now. But the cap room situation that doesn't exist with NIL, the just complete betrayal of people that exists in NIL. That is the dark side of something that should have been a good thing, of allowing college athletes to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. It's completely been flipped on its head. And so much so that people are now even developing addictions because of the money that they're getting. Just ask Brendan Sorsby. So in the midst of all of that, what does a guy like Tamin Lipsey mean to college sports? It shows that guys like that still exist. Guys like that stay at their school all 4 years, that want to be at their school, that play hard at their school. They don't care about what might happen after college, but they leave it all on the line. There was literally plays in his career that were called Tamin Lipsey plays when his teammates would make them. that they were called Tamin Lipsey plays, of diving after the ball, of giving full effort, of going into the stands, laying your body on the line, having no regard for anything else except winning the basketball game. That's Tamin Lipsey. That's who he was as a person. That's who he was as a player. And that's who he is as an Iowa State alum now. And what's really cool for me to think about is as we think about Iowa State athletics and what he means in the grand scheme of things, he might be top 10, guys. I'm not talking about talent. I'm not talking about stats. I'm not talking about any of that, even though you could make an argument for it because he was here all 4 years. But in terms of Iowa State athletes that are beloved and welcomed back at any point, Tamin Lipsey might be top 5 in that conversation ever, guys. He's become the George Niang of this era. He's become the Monte Morris of this era. I know George Niang and Monte Morris didn't have to deal with NIL. So that's why it's even more important what Tamin Lipsey did. Keep in mind, and we talked about this with the Josh Jefferson conversation and his legacy, Josh Jefferson, Milan Momcilovic, Tamin Lipsey all had better offers that they were going to take because they saw that Josh was on his way out and Tamin and Milan wanted to go do it with him and go explore college sports and go explore and see how much money they could make, which, by the way, was a lot. All 3 of those guys would have made a lot of money and more money than they would have made at Iowa State. Jamie Pollard, get that NIL budget up for Iowa State, by the way. And they came back. And if you've heard the conversation from Brent Bloom about how they came back, of scrounging pennies and scrounging dollars to get these guys back in an Iowa State uniform, they did it. And they got all 3 of them back. And if not for an ankle injury, we might be talking about a Final Four Iowa State team. Because that was one of the best seasons in Iowa State basketball history. So I think that Tamin Lipsey deserves to be in an all-time Iowa State discussion across all sports. If you want to talk about talent level and stuff, that's a different conversation. But in terms of Iowa State athletes, Cyclone Nation's favorite Iowa State athletes, let's just call it that. And maybe we'll do a top 10 of that soon. But where is he ranking in that? It's top 5. He's a loyal son, forever true. He's one of the greatest Cyclones ever. And oh, by the way, yeah, he was a pretty good basketball player too. Developing a 3-point jump shot. If not for Jaden Bradley breaking our hearts again in that Arizona-Iowa State Big 12 semifinal, Iowa State might be playing for a Big 12 championship because Tamin Lipsey hit a 30-footer. Think about freshman Tamin Lipsey to that Tamin Lipsey. It was unbelievable. Helping win the Houston game by laying out off a missed free throw, diving for the ball and getting fouled. Game-changing plays that might be forgotten because Iowa State didn't make the Elite Eight. But Tamin Lipsey is the greatest, and I will remember him forever. And I appreciate you, Tamin. I appreciate everything you've done for Cyclone basketball, and you will always have a home in Ames if you want to come back and coach. Or if you want to come back and have a reunion with people. Because you are a loyal son, forever true. Leave your comments down below. What do you think about Tamin Lipsey? Where does he rank all time in Iowa State basketball history? Where does he rank all time among Iowa State athletics? Let me know in the comments down below. We'll continue to roll these legacies and top 5 videos out this offseason as we get geared up for next year. Make sure you like and subscribe. As always, roll close. And how about those cheese?